So this piece you have here, but now with this new collection, we also have the sofa, which is exactly the same, like a little bit stretched, like it's a 2-seat sofa, and also the long chair. And of course, you can offer it with this beautiful leather, but there's always the possibility to have it in fabric now. Before it was not possible, but now with this new collection, you can also offer any fabric or soft leather in collection, even if this is the very special version of it. It's a very comfortable armchair and sofa as well, because inside the structure there are coil springs which are tied together. So the springs inside here are tied manually together so that they work simultaneously. So this creates a very, very high comfort for this armchair.
首先跟大家介绍的呢是它的主人，那这款沙发呢所选用的布料呢是缎面材质的，就是比较具有质感跟低调奢华的。那它所特别之处，你可以发现它是束球，所以它的那个尺寸是比较宽的。然后呢，最特别的地方是在它的这个独立椅设计，它的弹簧呢跟它的椅子底部呢其实是有结合在一起的，所以呢你坐上去的时候呢不会说垫子是垫子，然后弹簧是弹簧，它整个就是去承载你的重量而做这个算是弹性的幅度吧，所以它会比较舒服。
The logo lamp is called logo, as of course you can recognize it's the first lamp we did, and it's of course the symbol also of our company. So.
就像看到这个是所谓的 logo lamp， 也是 Armani Casa 的这个商标，这也是算是他们品牌识别度蛮高的一个产品。
It's the only one. Usually our lamps, they are made with fabric lampshades or Murano glass lampshade. This is the only one that has this version of lampshade, hard, it's polycarbonate, I believe, material. So it's a special version. You will never ever find another lampshade like this in collection.
然后大部分的灯具呢，可能是用那个石材，那像现在他们都换成那个木纳诺岛的玻璃，那这是唯独一个还是用塑料，这是 PC 的。
Our collection of small tables is made of coffee tables, bedside tables, but we often use this kind of hybrid tables because this is not a very small one, but we tend to, it's not as low as coffee table, so we tend to use it on a side as you show here. This is a very historical, I'd say, table of our collection because it's in collections from a lot of years, and this is why this table, if you check on the catalog, it's available in a very large number of options. So here it looks to me it's brushed brown oak from the color, but so it's also the entry price for this table. But you have lots of versions. You will have the stucco version, the special version I showed you, the patinated linen, the special fabric with wood finishing, the shagreen version. So these can be offered in many options in collection.
接下来跟大家介绍的呢是它这个编织，这地皮编织算是他们品牌旗下非常经典的，因为它其实编织的基本尺寸我相信你都知道，只是要说这个款是在蛮早前就推出了，你在它所有的这个 catalog 里面几乎都看得到，然后他们一定都会配到他们的那个情境图里面。那我们现场这一个是深色系的这个项目的，但其实它可以用各种面材，所以像那个刚刚它图片里面有给我们看那个珍珠品的啦、手工挖泥板的等等的都可以。
There are very few pieces in collection that are available in nearly all the finishings, and this is one of them, because usually maybe you have a table, but you have a restricted number of options, not all the finishings in collection. Ottawa instead is one of the items that you can really offer in many different finishings.
所以因为他们大部分的配置就是 规矩，就比方说我这个东西可能只能配这个颜色，那这个木材颜色可能配这个金属。可是这一款桌子 Armani Table 是它什么面料你都可以选，就什么 finishing 都可以选，所以算是customize 程度最高的。其他的可能就是你们在帮客人配的时候要参考那个价格本上写的那个搭配原则，无论是材质或是颜色或是布料的限定。
If it's useful for you, of course you can use the samples upstairs to let the customer kind of imagine the way it looks. But in the private lounge, we share all the official pictures we have of this table, so you can actually also show him on the iPad or whatever you use the pictures of the different versions.
那当然就是如果客人真要客定的话，我们一定是透过这个 sample swatch 是最好的。但是有时候他可能会没有办法想象的时候，假如说你们平常有收集图片的话，就可以说，如果你选择这个材质，看起来就像这个图片这样子，也是一个很好的参考资料。
Yes, that's right. I knew. Let's talk about the sofa first. So we have some sofa that are historical again. Some are new. Maybe I can find something in your display, but this one, which is called Sydney, it's one of the very first styles we developed for sofa. It's available 2 seats, 3 seats, that is the one you have, but also 4, or maybe this is 4 seats. No, I believe it's 3 seats. Yeah. There's also the 4 seats version. We do not have that many 4 seats. This is one of them.
那阿玛尼的沙发通常都是最大尺寸只到3，通常都32人。那 Sydney 沙发是唯一一款有做到4人座。
And it also has 2 different options for, we can call it the shell outside. So you can have it fully upholstered like the one you show, but you can also have a version that the outside, so this part is in wood, and they can choose some options out of the catalog, and just this part is with fabric. So they can whether choose the fully upholstered version like this, or the one with a wooden structure.
那这款沙发我们目前看到的是整个都是布缝的，可是它其实有框架是可以露出木材的，所以它有2个选择，就是看你要全部封起来，全部封起来，或是说你就是坐垫抱着部分是封住，但是框架或者是木材。之前看它这一组的内材，因为他们好像每一个沙发做的。What's the stuffing, the inner stuffing of this sofa?
I believe it's foam in this case because it's quite, when it's a little bit softer, it's foam plus feather. In this case, it's a very solid, hard shape. So the underneath the.
Are these listed or described in a price list?
Not really.
No.
It doesn't really tell you if it's foam plus feather or just foam.
How do they know?
Usually when it's hard, like this, so it's hard in terms of sofa because it's still a little bit soft, it's just foam. When you feel that it's a little bit softer, it means there is foam, and on top of it there's a layer of feather. Charlie. The coffee table is called the Charlie. It goes together well many different sofas in collection, so it goes together well Sydney as well. But it was originally designed, I'm looking for it on the catalog to show you, for a sofa we have in collection which is called Beethoven, because this part follows exactly the same shape of the sofa. Let me show it to you in a minute. once I found it, I will show it to you, but it perfectly combines with that sofa actually, but still you can match it to other sofa. In this case is a shiny rosewood. I can tell it by the veining, but also about the color.
那像这个桌子，他说他光是看这个木质，他就知道这个是那个亮木。
什么东西？
那当然，他觉得这张桌子跟这个贝多芬沙发是配在一起是最好看。可是如果要跟其他沙发或是单独做配置也是可以的。
The beds, the bedside tables, because they're meant to be bedside tables, but of course you can use it also on the side of a sofa. It's Cima Rosa, and it's one of our bestsellers ever. It's another kind of item, bestseller within the bedside category, because the bestseller ever is the Trocadero table actually. It's another style you can actually have in many different finishings, such as the Ottawa in the window. So this is another style which is very historical for our brand. So this is why you have such a wide list of options for the finishings. Oh, this is. I beg your pardon.
这一款编辑是它就是专门它的那个畅销系列。其实我们在台北、台中其实都搭配了很多这一款编辑，因为它的编辑其实选择说多不多，说少不少。但是因为它可以当沙发编辑，也可以当床编辑，所以还蛮多款式，蛮多搭配性的。
In this case, I've just checked it's upside down because the drawer is facing that way, but they both have a drawer, which is it's here. There's a drawer. I said, oh, there's no drawer in here. I thought, no, maybe it's just the other way.
Seriously, really?
Yeah.
打开啊。
It's okay. It's okay. In this case, also those are in shiny rosewood. That's a Balboa lamp. There's not too much I can tell about it. The base is metal. It's satin black metal. Because you will see that our lamps, they might have metal base or wooden base. Sometimes it's also leather base. It's one of the biggest, I believe, table lamps we have. It has a quite solid shape.
那接下来跟大家介绍的就是它这个桌凳，
Che non me lo trova?
就是它底部其实都是全部用锻炼的金属去做。因为它像它这一款，它是可以做调节的开关，可是它其他款都只有断式，那它们是可以做变换的，还是这是到我们台湾的？ She's asking this desk lamp. The light sourcing is adjustable.
Is that?
Adjustable.
What is adjustable?
You can dim the dimmer. There is a dimmer, but the rest of the desk lamp cannot. So is this a special version, or they can choose with the dimmable
No,
system?
if it's with the dimmer, it's with the dimmer. If it's without dimmer, it's not dimmerable. But there are not that many lamps with the dimmer.
Usually not. 就是他们对大部分都不能调光，那可以调光就可以调光，不能调光就不能调光。所以这一款是少数可以调光。
The latest collection ones, which I didn't show you, so they all have a dimmer, the new ones this year, and they also feature, compared to these ones, LED lights. This is a normal bulb. The new ones, they feature LED lights. So for this reason, they all have a dimmer. For these regular collections, some they have, some other they don't. So if this doesn't have a dimmer, you cannot actually choose the version with it's like this.
所以今年的新品的灯具都是用那个玻璃做灯罩，然后都是可以调光的，还有
Non mi funziona. Facciamo così. I use the app. Yeah. Wanted to show you the Beethoven, but I couldn't find the opposite of it. Nope. No, but I have it here. Okay, so this is Beethoven. Yeah. This sofa here was made, to match exactly with this. This is the match, the perfect matching to this small table. Okay, it's called Experience. It was a table that kind of looked like our Trocadero table. Trocadero is the best seller for Armani, and it's this table here. It's again one of the pieces in collection, apart from the fact that it's the best seller ever in all the categories. It's available in different finishing. Experience was kind of the brother, but with a different top made of different slabs of wood.
这款等于是它的姐妹系列，因为但唯一不同的地方就是它的这个木块的组合的方式，它就是由几块木块组合，然后上下还有木。
And this is again brushed brown oak, I believe.
这也是橡木。
I think the board is right over there, so we can check.
You have the Trocadero. Good. Yeah. Dustin chair. We have two directors' chairs in collection. One is Dustin. Directors' chairs are the chairs with the folding system, like this. Does this fold? Yeah, it folds. Yeah. Good. Thank you. We usually, actually, to be honest with you, we usually show the Dustin with desks. So it's meant to be a chair mainly to be used with desks. But of course, this matching is nice. It always features leather, hard leather back and seat. And this year we launched a new version, which is with the green leather I showed you before. This one folds. Then we have another one in collection, which is called Truffaut, which doesn't fold. It's a fake folding chair. This is the real one because of structural reasons. Let me show you the other one. So if they eventually like.
那这张椅子通常是跟书桌做搭配，然后通常都是配硬的皮。
Dustin chair, in terms of option, comes with wooden structure and leather, or you can also choose a special version which is fully covered with thin leather. This is a case, again, I told you that sometimes you have special versions here and there about the chair, so this is one of them. You have this special version that is not just the seat and the back, but it's also the whole structure is finished with leather. This is Douze. You cannot really tell from here, but maybe you could see, you saw it in the pictures upstairs. It has this kind of optical pattern, and again, it's one of our best sellers for what concerns the rugs.
那这张地毯是他们卖的最好的地毯。那其实他说细，就灯光太暗，不然它其实上面会有一些细。
This is M. M in vintage brown oak. This is not brushed brown oak, it's vintage brown oak. So it's a different coloring than that one. That's slightly darker. The special thing about this lamp is that it's carefully designed so that it starts with a squared section. So you see that here is a squared section for 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes up to a triangular section. So the stem of this lamp is carefully designed so that out of 4, come si dice, sides, it becomes up here, they join carefully together to a triangular shape.
那像这个虽然一样都是装购，可是这边跟那个大装的刷纹就是那个比较深，这个浅一点。啊，他说这个设计其实是还蛮经典的，就是特别之处是在这个灯角的部分，因为它原本是梯形的、四边形的，然后最后缩到上面合在一起变成一个三角形。
This by unit is again Excelsior is the name. This side it has drawers. This side is smoke drawers. It's too high to store glasses or whatever. Sometimes inside the bar units, also for the internal of the drawers, you might find technical shagreen fabric, as I told you this morning. But you might also find this other kind of fabric, which is a fabric we have in collection. You will find it also in the books. It's called faro fabric, and it's another technical fabric we have in collection, which is, it's very resistant to scratches. It's a technical fabric. It's a heavy use fabric in this case, and it's also the entry price because it's a category E, so A, so it's the entry also price. And we use it a lot to finish the internal of the furniture, the internal of the drawers. And sometimes, I don't know if you have, no, you don't have, there is a bed also that it's called Boccherini. No, Boccherini is a table, sorry, Botticelli, that has the structure outside made with faro fabric. So you will use it sometime, you will see it sometimes used as a finishing, because it's such a resistant fabric.
那接下来就跟大家介绍这个边柜，然后特别之处是它里面的绷布，就是他刚刚讲那种高科技的耐布料，然后它是就是比较超耐磨的布料，所以很常被用在就是绷家具的，像柜子的层板啊，或是说那个像有一个床具Botticelli的那个。四只脚后边也是用这种布材去缝。
And here is that you can show the stucco, and you can tell the customer eventually about the stucco. So I told you that this is one of the most recognizable materials invented by Armani Casa. So it's the one I told you made of wood and the material out of the walls.
那当然，这个柜子是用这个手刮泥板的材质，也是他们Armani Casa很具视名度的一个东西，所以呢，跟客人解释这些事情的部分。
Let's go. This way. Allora, facciamo così. This is Balloon. Balloon is a very iconic armchair for Armani. We used it in advertising some years ago, and it had a great success because it has this great, very unique curved design. Because of this, the bad side of this armchair is that because of its shape, so it's so curved that you cannot actually use any fabric in collection. This is one of the exceptions we have in collection. So for this armchair, you can just offer two kind of fabrics we have in collection, which are B-elastic fabrics. You cannot really use any other because of the shape. It won't look nice here, the effect. So we tried and it doesn't look nice. So for this armchair, that comes also with the matching poof eventually. You can just choose the colors out of this fabric, which is not just beige, it also has other colors. And another one, which is called Justat, which is again a B-elastic fabric.
本入出周也算是阿玛尼卡萨蛮经典的一个产品，那其实他们这个做事的时候，应该还蛮发现的。但你会发现说它的这个造型整体非常的华，那也因为这样子的限制，所以它有开始做的不一样，基本上的话，然后有试过，可是因为后面那个弯度跟曲度，它那个缝，所以都不知道，而且它到底对面这一点的话，不要，就不要它多颜色，可以做。
This is Boccherini. Is the brother, the big brother of Cimarosa, the one that was upside down in that room. It's the same shape with the crossed legs, but of course the top is wider and is thinner. Also, he has no drawer. So this is more meant to be like with an armchair. Cimarosa, we use them a lot as a bedside. Its real category is bedside table more than next to sofas, but it still can be used, of course. This is Emerson. We have several options in collection for bed, but to be honest with you, we do not usually tend to have high headboards. Armani Casa style, we are doing some now because the customer keeps asking us, but our original style is low headboards. This is very comfortable because the headboard is made of 2 cushions that can also be removed, and eventually you can do the cushions can be done in leather as this option, but also the customer can choose a fabric in collection to upholster the 2 big cushions over there. Of course, for all the beds, we have, for every single bed, we have 5 options in terms of sizes. So I think this is 170, but we also have 160 mattress, 170 mattress, 180 mattress, king size and queen size. We always have 5 different mattresses option for every single bed in collection.
那他们就是他们的床其实有蛮多的选择，但通常尺寸就是what's the size?
160, 170, 180, and then queen and king.
他们的尺寸是160、170、180，然后 queen size 跟 king size。
On display, we usually tend to suggest 170. So I'm not really expert, but more or less I think this is 170 because we usually tend to suggest 170 to do the settings. You can check. This bedside table is called Joe. It's quite new because it's a 2013 collection and it comes straight out of the hotels. Because you must know that for Armani Casa hotels, we sometimes do some furniture. This is special production for the hotel only, so you don't have it in collection. But then we have been asked from the customers visiting the hotel so much, so that we decided to have this also in the regular collection.
那我们现在看到这个周边桌，其实原本是只给阿玛尼自己的 hotel 使用，可是太多客人喜欢这张桌子，所以后来他们就把它变成一般产品。
Features a drawer. Is available in different finishing. This is again brushed brown oak. And the top again, the same technical fabric we saw inside the bar unit. So this is faro fabric. You can see that it's also used for the top of a table because it's a very, very resistant fabric.
那我现在看到的这个就是一样是这个dark brush oak 的这个材质，去搭配我们刚刚在柜子里面看到的那个高科技布料。
This lamp, the name, don't remember.
It's okay. I'm sure they know.
You can choose different options for the top and different options for the base. It's the only one where you can actually split the two parts and combine whether you want this shape of lampshade or the pyramidal one, or whether you want this in metal or the other options available.
那这个灯具就是它的灯罩跟灯座的部分都是可以选材质。
Oregon. It's called Oregon. Here you go.
OK， 这个叫那个 Oregon 灯具，那它灯罩有两个。
So you might want this shape or the shape you want, or the shape you have, the pagoda one or the pyramidal one.
有方形的跟圆形。
这是少数Armani灯具里面唯一就是灯罩跟灯旗它是分开拼好的，所以大家
Check that one first. Okay, let's go here. It's huge, your showroom. Oh, I forgot to show you this. Okay, this set of tables, Galassia, they come in set of 3. So they cannot actually buy the small, the medium, or the big one. They just buy the full set. And they're very particular because they feature there are 2 options available. One is this, coconut shell. And the other one, I believe I saw it somewhere else, is sip and shell. I'll show you later. Coconut shell, I just realized I forgot to explain you this morning, but in the slide there were also these materials. Coconut shell is made with coconut. So the fruit, the shell of the fruit gets broken, carbonized, flatten it down. So you see that there are small pieces because of course when you break the coconut it's going to explode in many different pieces. So they take the bigger pieces out of the coconut shell and they glue them one by one on top of wood structure. So this is handmade. It's the only material, to be honest with you, that is not done in Italy. This comes from Indonesia because it's an exotic material. Of course, coconut doesn't grow in Italy. So this table is available in these 2 very exotic finishing, coconut shell, and the other one I will find somewhere around your showroom is sip and shell.
接下来跟大家介绍的是3个一系列的这个桌子，那它的针织裙是用这个 coconut shell 椰子的，是唯一的是在意大利产的，因为意大利有，所以是在印尼，然后他们是把这个椰子壳破开之后，然后再压扁。那因为你去破开整个椰子的时候，它会碎成很多块，那里面挑比较大块，然后用人工就是拼进去把它贴起来。
This is Grembo. It's again one of the historical sofas of Armani. So it's in collection since a long time. And you have the 2 seats, the 3 seats, the corner version as you have. But you also have a version that comes with the meridian, so with the long chair attached. So you have several options in terms of shape. It's not a modular system, so you cannot actually choose the pieces to combine. It just comes in 4 different versions, so 2 sides, 3 sides, corner, and corner, but rather than having the armrest, you're going to have the long chair attached.
那接下来介绍这个沙发呢，在Armani上已经有一阵子，所以算是比较具有历史性的设计。那它不是所谓的系统沙发，所以它也只有4个人可以选，就是2人的、3人的，或是说有这个corner。那 corner 的有像这种，就是说有还有一个是那种看起来是像那个贵妃汤。
foam again.
也是泡沫。
It's not very soft. The very first ones, so Grembo, Sydney, to be honest, they were not really comfortable because you can see that the shape is very solid because this is kind of the original style of Armani. Then we have been asked for more comfort, so we went to new ones that I'm not sure if you have some new ones that they also feature feather inside, so it's more comfortable, and also the cushion is not so thin, is thicker.
他刚好说他们的沙发里面的那个填充材都是泡棉跟羽绒，对，然后就是纯泡棉，泡棉，但像早期的，只要是比较早期的沙发，因为它现在因为他们用泡棉，但是因为他们有些客人不是那么喜欢就是挺立的做感，所以他们才加入这样子让它是比较会有的人家能陷下去，然后现在你的进入然后才有后来才有泡棉把这个沙发。
This one is one of the few, well actually it's the only lamp showing the logo. Armani doesn't usually show the logo. If we do in cushions, it's because we have been asked. And also this lamp, I'm not sure whether it was our design or we were asked to do something with the logo because it's usually it's not about showing the GIA logo. Anyhow, it features the logo in metal, and underneath there's lizard, real lizard leather. So this is brown lizard leather.
接下来是很多的算是所有系列里面唯一的有就是说logo文具，通常他们就是走低调，他们想设计它的质感，所以他们不会去强调他们自家的这个 logo， 可是就是少数有的。那它这边是金属的，然后旁边封的就是我们刚刚讲的那个特纹。有些家有客人买阿玛尼家一定要看到 logo 的话，就推荐他。
Oh, here you have an example of the technical shagreen fabric. So what I've explained you this morning about this is the other technical fabric we have in collection besides faro. It's the technical shagreen. So it feels like it's a microfiber fabric, but it doesn't feel like fabric. It feels more like plastic, kind of, more like a silicone material. And it's completely printed with this pattern, reminding the skin of the ray fish.
然后接下来跟大家介绍的这个算是小边桌有那个柜子的功能。那主要是想跟大家介绍这个 finish， 因为我刚刚之前有讲过，它有那个珍珠乳体的 finish。那是一种是用布料在上面，就是可以做那个摆盘；那一种就是可以封在那上面。那一样，因为它是运用高科技，所以它很韧，然后它不容易就是耐洗。它是印上这个珍珠鱼的鱼皮的图案，可是摸起来其实就不像真正的珍珠鱼皮是硬硬的，它是还是有点像是细胶布材的感觉，可是还给你那个鱼的那个纹路的那个样子。那可以请问一下，毕竟它这里是国际皮，那它久了之后会有脱落的状况。它不是皮，它是布的，对。She's asking because this is fabric. Will it be brittle?
What is?
Brittle, like pieces coming off.
Not really.
Yeah.
It's a technical
I
microfiber.
think she's comparing to some of the thick, like artificial leather, and through the time and the rain, and the pieces might come off, so it gets brittle.
As far as I know, never happened. So it's a very, the technique we use to produce this is very good. So I've never heard about problems like this. Also because again, if you feel it, it doesn't really feel like like fabric. So I believe the technique we use makes it so resistant. Otherwise, we won't use it on surfaces and inside of the drawers.
我觉得你给他花时间好好一下触摸一下它不同材质的质感，因为他说他有强调说这个摸起来它完全不像塑胶，所以它跟我们 到那种亮面的皮革，其实是完全不一样的东西。它是高科技耐米布料，然后上面再印上他想要的那个纹路，跟刚刚那款在柜子里的那个就是会发为古铜色的那个金属布料是一样的。那为什么他们去设计这样子的布料，是为了他们想这样子的纹路？再来是他们想要有那种金属面的效果，因为你一般如果你要有光泽的话，你一定要丝或人造丝，可是那样子的布料不足以让你来封柜类或是桌面类，所以之所以它可以变成封板材，或是说封柜类，或是封这个桌面，就是我们想的这个任何的台面的这个finishing， 是因为它够耐，足够有韧度，所以首先它一定是够韧，你可以把它封得很紧，然后再来是它没有那么的脆弱，它比较耐。
This console, called Enya, is again a very iconic piece for Armani. Every single year, we tend to develop a new version. So it's again a piece in collection that you will find available in a huge number of options. Every year, every Salone, we develop a new version of it, and it always features one of the most important finishing of that collection. For example, this year we did it in Grey Tamo. When we launched Technical Shagreen, we did it in Technical Shagreen. But you will also find it in marquetry, in cracked lacquer, in very, very special finishings.
全关桌每年的那个新推出的 finish 或是风采，全部都会用它来诠释。
Take a picture of this here. Okay, this is one of our best sellers for what concerns the desks. It's called Euclide. Again, it's always about very small desks in our collection. We have one which is Giunone, I don't believe you have it here, which is huge for Armani. So it's big, it can be considered a presidential desk. All the other desks in our collection, they are meant to complement other settings. It features a unique material you will find only on this desk. It's glossy black painted steel, so you won't find this metal in any other furniture in collection, and has a couple of drawers on each side, which are internally finished. Usually the internal of the drawers, it's leather sometimes it's faro fabric, or we usually use maple wood. Maybe not the same maple wood you have in collection, a matte, like in this case, a matte maple wood.
那接下来跟大家介绍这款，就是说它的表面材质是用亮面的木板，然后桌角是金属的。它比较特别的是，它们的抽屉里面都会也是有做内装处理的。那通常可以封皮或是做木材，是它这款是封木，但是跟我们那个正波表面的那个木头封木的那个是不一样的。它大部分都会是玉木，就不会有阳光这样子。
This is again, you selected faro fabric for this. This is like a small armchair, we call it Edward. It could be used as an armchair standing on its own, or like a small tube chair for desks. Again, this is faro fabric, and it's the same we found on the top of the bedside table and inside the bar unit. So it can actually be selected also by the customer to do chairs as you did and to do sofas. And it's actually the most resistant fabric they can choose ever. Because again, it's a technical fabric, very, very resistant.
那这个跟刚刚那个边柜里面的那个布料是一样的。那他也有再次强调说，这款布料是他们Armani Casa品牌旗下就是最耐的布料。
Okay. It's a huge showroom. How many other settings do we have to explain? No, I'm just joking, no worries, of course. I will explain everything. So in Armani Casa, of course, you might have living settings, dining settings, but we are also typical of this small, setting. I would call this small setting because the main piece is a dormouse. It's not really a big sofa or a big bed or a big table. This is out of our line called Engadin. Engadin is a series of sofa that is typical of this shape for the armrest. You will have the dormouse like this, but you also have the sofa in different options, 2 seats, 3 seats. You have the armchair, and you also have the modular system. So this range, Engadin range, which is typical of this rounded armrest, comes in very different options. And it can be upholstered, of course, with any fabric, such as the one you selected, but also in leather. There is a version of this that is the one I show you in the catalog, maybe, that is fully made with thin leather. Again, it's a special version.
那我们接下来看到这一块区域，它整个就是有一个小小的这个阿玛尼主题式的这个陈列。那虽然里面的东西都是比较单一或者小件，可是蛮充分表达他们的风格。那像这个 Angeline，这算是 day bed 还是？对，其实它也有扶手椅跟沙发，也有那个 mobile system 可以选。然后这个系列都会有它左右旁边那个弧度。
The screen you have behind, we have 2 screens in collection. One is Exception, this one. The other one is called Daphne, and it's not as high as this one. It's more or less like this. The difference is that Exception cannot be chosen in any fabric. It comes in special versions only. So this is one version, the one you choose. Another one is the new one with the dragon fabric, so the new iconic screen this year. We have one version which is not in fabric. It's fully finished with tamo here, and the sides is in leather. So it comes, you can check on the catalog, it comes in 4 or 5 special versions. The customer cannot really customize the fabric here. If he wants to customize, eventually you have to offer the second screen we have in collection called Daphne, which is, I'll show you on the catalog maybe so that it's better for you to understand. It's slightly lower. Eccolo qua. So, Exception, this one here, is available in this version, in tamo, with a wall covering. And there is the new one with the dragon, and this one which actually was in collection, and this year is not going to be in collection anymore. If they want to customize, then you have to offer Daphne, which is lower. It has this is 5 panels. Daphne is 4 panels, but they can actually choose in that case any fabric they want out of the Rubelli collection.
假如说他可能要特定的话，有另外一款，可是 he's asking that it can be customized to 2.2 meters.
In terms of size, you can ask. Sometimes it can be customized, some other times it cannot really customize. It really depends also on the fabric they choose, the repeat of the pattern. So it really depends on that as well. But usually you can ask for special measures. Let's say 60%, they're gonna say yes. Although it's not a big table that for structural reason is gonna maybe break. So when it's about a special measure, you can always ask. When it's about special combination of material, it becomes more complicated, because in that case, it's not just about production, but it's also about Mr. Armani's approval. So that becomes a little bit more complicated. But of course, you can ask for special sizes.
他说2.2米，我不知道你是从哪里。
因为包含这些的话是2个尺寸，一个是内里裁的。
哦，你说四面的那个？
刚刚那个。
照的那个。他说2.2米的是你要另外再问，因为有些布料的图案没有办法，就是因为他们可能有讲那个布料的那个对称，所以他说有的布料没有办法做到那么高。就跟你讲说4个选择。对，他说就是说他知道有那个选择，可是变成说要看那个客人选择什么样子的布料，然后才可以做那个尺寸。
Sorry, I said something very wrong. I mean, yes, of course it can be customized, but Daphne actually, I'm sorry I forgot about it, comes already in 2 sizes. One is the lower one, 120, and the second one is 220. So it's already in collection, a second taller one. I forgot about it.
以上对话就是，反正它这2个尺寸可以选各种的布料，这个。然后这些话你就自己比例。
For the lamp, I just wanted to let you notice that I told you that they can be done in metal, they can be done in wood. Sometimes they also feature leather. So in this case, the stem of the lamp is in leather. Something wrong.
刚刚原厂有提到一个，就是关于客制化这件。说时间要再稍微再长一点啦，或者是屏风你可能要做矮一点什么之类。这单一个商品它本身尺寸或者是材料上的一个客制化的话，我们可以去问问看，看原厂有没有办法制作，因为这还是要牵扯到他们生产上有没有一些困难度这样子。所以如果以后大家有接收到这样子的客制化的需求的话，就是还是把资料提供给我，然后我再帮你们做询问。但是通常客制一件呢，你就知道那个价格一定会比较贵一点，所以就是大家要先了解一下。
Let's go here. Ah, okay. So you have e-cups in there. Yeah. You took a lot of brushes, Ronald. There's a lot of brushes around the shop. So this, where are you? We have different shapes of tables in collection. We have squared, we have rectangular, different options. We were used to have just one round one, which is this. It's called New York. You can have it fixed round like this, or you can also have the version that extends. It was used to be the only one. Now, with the new collection, we launched 2 new round ones. So you will have, from this collection, other options if they want to go for a round one. And it's, of course, available in several options. This is the basic entry price. It's the brushed round oak version.
那这个就是，他们有很多桌子，大部分都是方桌，这是唯一款的圆桌New York。那它的表面材质就是大部分都可以选。
This is Elodea chair, again available in different wood finishings, and this is a leather option, but of course can be done also in fabric. Behind here is an example of the different kind of rugs I told we have in collection. So not the hand knotted, but the woven one, the one done in Persia. So you can see the junctions. There is a junction here, there is another junction here, another here, and another here. So it's made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces that get woven one by one, and then they connect them together. So these are the connection between the 5 parts. So it's a different technique.
这个椅子它是封底的，但也可以封布，所以算是选择比较多的Adelia chairs。然后这个地毯是我们都多的在后期做的用那个方法，那可以发现，它特别是因为它是那个用编织的方式，所以边边没办法一直无尽的叠下去，所以它就是我们要去做一部分的，然后再做整面的拼接，所以像这张地毯就用了4段。
Armani Casa in collection, I must say, has a very few, or actually has just 2 wardrobes. We don't do that many wardrobes. One of them is this, because the inside of this cabinet, let's say, can be customized with 3 different options. In this case, you have the multifunctional option, so it can be used to store glasses, as you see in a dining set. But they can also choose 2 other options for the inside. One is going to be the work option, so you can actually open it and use it as a desk. So you're going to have places here to put the paper, and here is going to be a desk. Or you can also have the wardrobe version, which is actually one of the few options we have in collection for wardrobes. We don't have big ones. We have small cabinets to be used as a wardrobe.
那阿玛尼有蛮多的那个就是我们就是在欧洲他们是就是餐桌旁边的那种边柜，就是可以让你放餐具或是煎酒，所以他们都是在放那些柜子下面是那个有角的，不是说整个都是柜子，可是像这种整个都是柜子这种柜式的设计，好像只有这一款。然后说你有3个选择，一个就是像他现在这样设计的，就是你可以摆玻璃杯啊或什么的，是也是餐柜的设计的概念。那还有一个是它可以做成那个书桌，所以上面是放书，然后下面是有桌子可以拉出来，然后里面也是有灯的。那还有一种呢，就是可以做成衣柜，因为它这尺寸刚好可以放衣服，那也是唯一的一款可以有衣柜功能的。所以它这个柜子的那个内部结构是有3种可以选。
Okay. This is again another kelim. Again, you can see in this case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different parts joined together. This sofa is called Otello, and it comes in different versions, and again it's the same history as the Grembo and as the Sydney at the entrance. It's one of the very first sofa Armani was used to do, so you will see that the cushion is very thin and it's more like a solid shape, and it's not really comfortable as the new ones, to be honest, because we were tending to have this very a solid shape with thin cushions at the very beginning. But it's typical. It's more typical of the style of Armani Casa, to be honest. It represents better the idea of the furniture.
那我们现在现场看到这地毯一样是用 flip 的编织技法，跟刚刚那张地毯一样，所以你会发现说这整块地毯其实也是由7块块毯在组合在一起的，所以它中间都会有那个将2块地毯组合的那个编织处。那这款沙发也是 Armani Casa 比较早期的设计，因为当初他们都是要去强调利落的线条，所以它的坐垫的部分也是用那个就是一整块的，就是用泡棉，就是薄薄的这种。那也是他刚刚讲，就是有些人会觉得这种坐起来比较不舒服，可是这是当初就是他觉得这比较，就是他们当初比较经典的东西啦，反正是非常的利落，很四方，所以它的那个坐垫设计也是比较紧实的。
This is a GDO and it's a coffee table with a big solid shape, I would say, because it comes out of a collection, the E collection, where there was a lot of research behind cubism and these kind of very monolithic, I'd say, shapes. You can see the legs, the size of the legs, and it's the same history behind some other pieces in collections, such as a GDO table, which is basically the same design enlarged to a dining table. So it's a very strong, solid shape, especially for what concerns the legs.
那像这个桌子当初的那个设计的那个理念跟那个沙发一样，就是他们那个时候都比较讲求就是线条利落，而且是比较稳重的设计，所以它的东西都会比较厚实，然后故意在这个桌角的四边去强调它那个立方柱那种稳重，然后比较扎实的那个感觉。那像这样子的概念，他们也有做类似的那个餐桌，也是有一样，就是它四只脚是正正方方的柱子。
I've realized that for mainly all the coffee tables and the bedside tables, such as Ottawa, you feature brushed brown oak in the showroom, which is the basic entry price, which is good because it's going to be kind of the less expensive version in collection. But just remember that besides the basic wood, the basic entry wood, we have lots of options. The parchment I showed you this morning, the goth leather finishing is an option, for example, for this table. So we have also, besides the entry level price, which is the brushed brown oak, we have lots of different options.
他发现我们showroom里面就是所有的这个桌子的材质全部都是就是他说这样子也蛮好的，因为就是价格就是这是他们的这个入门价，所以可能客人喜欢的话才不会一下子被这个高额吓到。但是只是想提醒大家说，像这张桌子它有用那个羊皮纸的材质啊，其实非常的好看，所以也可以跟就是假如客人可以接受的话，也可以跟他推荐说那个亮面就是亮光漆这个羊皮纸的材质，因为看起来会更多是 luxury。
Lì, perciò foto.
All pictures as well.
Yeah, for all the settings, so that Dario is happy.
Yeah, because I also take. So, or you will send to Dario directly?
Maybe in a while. Okay. Put it on my Dropbox and maybe send it to me. Oh, good. So you finally have another version of Ottawa. So, good. So this is Ottawa, the same table you have in the window, you have over there. The one I told you that comes in a lot of finishings. This is for example, the version in stucco. So again, the very precious, unique material of Armani. You will see the difference in between the price of this table with this and with the brushed brown oak. It's completely different, but this is again, it's one of the most precious materials in Armani, and it's very typical of our brand. the same screen you have in the other room, so exception. This instead is called Raphael. It's again a series of sofas. We have the armchair, we have the sofa, 2 seats, 3 seats, coming again from the beginning. So you will see again a very thin cushion and a very strong solid shape underneath in foam. The structure here can be chosen in different woods, and it can be done, the upholstery instead, including this part, can be done with all the fabrics. They can choose between the fabrics and the soft leathers in collection.
这个空间的便利就是我们刚刚大家提到的，就是它的百搭款，然后可以选很多材质。那像这个就是用那个狗狗花泥板的编织。那这个这个 armchair 其实它也算是，就一看就知道它是比较保持的，因为一样就是比较利落的线条，然后强调那个厚实感。所以像这一系列的东西，它下面都会有厚厚的，然后上面都是比较薄的碎片，然后也是可以选择各种不同的布料。
This is just to show you, if you need, I don't remember, for example, the name of this carpet, but if you need any information about our carpets, just also to show the customer eventually any other color, or you want to know the composition, or you want to check on the catalog density. On the back of the carpet, you always have this tag saying a lot of information for you. I don't remember which one is this. Belém.
布材一样，就是它你如果翻过来的话，它可以翻一个，然后其他就是这样。
This is Essex. It's another curved shape, but it's not as restricted as balloon, the one with a curved design also here. It's still restricted, so you will find that for some shapes, such as this, which is very curved on the back, you cannot really select all the fabrics. You better maybe double check with the customer service, because there are some fabrics that cannot be used on curved shapes. There is a list that gets updated every single time we check the fabric. So of course the one you choose is available, but before selecting, going and confirming any other fabric, just make sure you checked that it's available for curved shapes. Usually Armani, as you can see, is about squared shapes, so there's not such a huge problem. But some armchairs, they actually have curved shape on the back, so not all the fabrics give a good result on curved shapes.
那像这种曲面式设计的这个手椅，像这款虽然没有像德路一样这么多层，然后所以它就可以选不同的布料。可是他说还是要注意的是，可能还是要选他们建议的布款，因为有曲面的，通常有些布料封上去并不是非常的好看。
This is Tamo. So the famous Japanese ash wood I told you about. This is the same bedside table you have, we saw over there. The one, still again, the one upside down. This is another version. Again, Cimarosa, same as Ottawa, comes in a lot of different finishing. And one of them is Tamo, so the precious ash wood. And again, if we open, you can see that sometimes the internal of the drawers is finished with faro fabric. So this is the case, for example. This is Donna. It's one of the best sellers for what concerns the lamps, because it features mother of pearl combined with, sorry, not mother of pearl, white gold leaf matched to metal. It's a very good seller in our collection. The glam coiffeuse. Again, Armani is typical of these small, pieces of furniture, such as the screens, or small, again, desks, or small coiffeuses to complement, because there is a lot of, again, connection with the Art Deco. So this use of furniture as decoration, further to function. And The glam coiffures comes in two versions. One is in faro fabric, so again the fabric you also find in there, the very resistant fabric. And the second one is the special version I showed you this morning in banana, which is the only sorry, I had the page ready. Okay, here you go. So this is the same in banana tree. Banana tree is available just for these coiffures. So eventually, if you can sell it, you have to sell it with the picture because we don't have the samples. There's this one here.
那接下来跟大家介绍这个，但是化妆就是会发现尺寸比较小，也是想要强调装饰性的部分。那它一样就是跟那个我们刚刚看的那个柜子还有那张扶手也是用这个巴洛布料，就是高倍性感的布料，然后会买。那它这个还可以选那个芭蕉叶的叶材，对，可是因为那个是就是只有这个产品可以用这个材质，所以它算是特别版，那就没有除非我们订购那个特别版。
那它抽屉的那个材质检测是不提。
So what she's asking the color of the material of the drawer, is that fixed or they can it's optional?
Inside?
Outside.
Outside it's all.
Inside.
Inside is in this case they decided to have the inside lacquered with this metal color, gold color. It's not a specific finishing we have in other collection. In this case they decided to finish this as a color combination in gold metal lacquer, so it's simply lacquered. Sometimes it really depends on each piece they carefully design in terms of color combination. So sometimes they decide faro, sometimes they decide
not to.
So it's not always fixed.
他们自己在，
But you cannot really choose.
就是其实你没有选择，完全光看你外面选择什么样的材质，它不是这种的。那有时候他们会选同色系的，像这款就是同色系的布料，然后里面就是同色系的这个finish。对，可是如果你换其他材质的话，它里面会去做其他配置，可是是不同系列的，他们自己的设计团队会有其他想法吗？不知道。
Okay, let's move to another.
You need to take a picture first.
Yeah. Sorry. What's left to see? Yes. Good. So again, this is the same table as the one in coconut, but the second option is sip and shell. In this case, you will have, if you want to come closer, you will have small slices of sip and shell manually glued one by one in two different colors, black and natural color. So again, you can imagine, the craftsmanship behind this. But they're still not that much expensive. Although there's a lot of craftsmanship, they're not as expensive as other finishings in collection. I don't know where's the third, but of course there must be. Here it is. This is Adriana Dormus. Adriana Dormus is another. Sorry.
You can finish it.
No, there's nothing to say about this. It's a typical. It's again.
It's a typical
It's a designer of Armani Casa. No, it's again. A very historical style of Armani, Adriana, and it can be upholstered with any fabric, with soft leather, and.
I see what you mean.
What do you mean? So when you see that it's softer, it means that it's foam plus feather. When it's
So we don't think a softer one here, right?
no. Not really. I think the most comfortable thing you have is the Hector armchair on the way.
So comfortable. 这个就是跟刚刚那个3个艺术的编辑是同一个款式的，只是不同的那个 finish。那这个是 C10 shell， 就是他刚刚讲的主持贝，这种贝壳类，但是他就把它切成一块一块小小的，然后慢慢的把它叠完以后再上2起，所以是非常耗工耗时的一个那个工艺技法。然后他说这一块呢，其实一看你就知道，就是他们早期Armani Casa的一个设计，就是比较具有历史性的这个代表作。所以一样也是，就是你会发现他们东西是方的，就是所以不是方的，但是你知道他们都是要走比较大气沉稳的路线，所以他这个沙发椅都是像我们家里面的，它是有沙发椅，然后还有是保温的。上都是厚的，他刚刚有说在我们这个模式里其实没有羽绒的包覆羽绒，全部都是那个做就是补好，所以像这个就是非常的紧实，然后做上去是挺的，就是有所以它不是其他的腰的它会弯腰的。
Ecco qua. This is Bernini long chair. Features leather and this particular padding on the on the seat and metal. It doesn't really it cannot be upholstered with any fabric in collection. It comes with some special canvas which are not part of the collection, but they're available just for this piece and in leather. So you cannot really choose any because again of
像这一款躺椅呢，因为它上面不是有这个泡棉做成条纹嘛，所以像这样的设计的话，它也不是所有的布料或所有皮都可以选，它就有一个特别版的，像刚刚做的介绍，然后还有这个就是这一款皮革才可以用在这个躺椅上面。所以就是像这种结构式设计比较特别的，它的选择性就会比较少。
So it's again some shapes, especially when you see a padding like this or a curved shape like the balloon, 90% there are some restriction in the choice of materials because again we cannot guarantee the effect of the fabric, especially if it's a very delicate one and there is a curved shape, it's going to be perfect. So in those cases we tend to restrict the options. So for Bernini again you can choose it in leather or there is a technical fabric which is the one showed here in the picture basically. It's a gray canvas. So the versions available are this one and this one. You cannot really offer any other fabric.
所以它其实就只有这个款式跟这个灰色的canvas。Is that a leather too?
No, it's a canvas. It's a kind of fabric.
它就是只有这款皮革跟 canvas 布料可以选，然后颜色就是这个是beige驼色的，然后那个是灰色的，然后只要是这个泡棉结构或坐垫结构比较特别，像这款跟分物，其实都不太可能选择其他布料或是材质，因为绷上去会不好看，然后再来就是它们都是丝质的布料，就可能会很容易就是磨损。
This is the same screen you have in the other room. Boccherini again.
因为它有弹性，它就有它的造型。 Does this arms have any functions, or is it for the heck of looking nice?
It's you can rest your arm there. I mean, it's an arm.
It's sprinkle.
它可以整个弯下去。
Yeah, it's not.
哦，那就是这样，你可以选择无扶手跟有扶手。
I'm not sure it's meant to be. No, I'm not sure it's meant to be moved.
Oh, it's not.
I don't think so.
哦，所以你之前他说他不确定
I mean, of course, it's okay that it's like this, but I don't believe it's meant are meant to put it down or up.
刚送来的时候是刚刚那个状态，
Even if it does,
那时候我们以为是瑕疵，但是后来
because otherwise it gets scratched here. If you keep doing it, I believe that the skin is gonna look.
他解释就是说，这个是让它有弹性，只是让你扶手靠起来没有那么的硬，因为弹涂啊，你可能是要轻松一点。然后他说，因为这是绷皮革的，所以如果你这样往下收的话，因为它绷得还蛮紧的，久了以后皮就会裂，会有皱或是松掉。所以他说，其实根据他的经验，没有人会把这个扶手收起来，所以他不是说让你可调整有没有扶手的这个工艺设计，但是只是想要给你一个。
You do have a more comfortable one. You have a canaletto, at least one comfortable. So I believe it's. I believe it's just to put the arms if you want. No. So. Again, here we have Danzica. Danzica is, in terms of coffee table, is one of our bestsellers. But to be honest with you, in Russia brown oak doesn't give his best because it's another one of those pieces in collection that comes in a lot of finishing. And the best seller for this one is the version in stucco again. So you have such a wide, simple surface, completely done in stucco. So the very special material of Armani, it gives a very, very striking effect.
那他说这张桌子的面积非常的大，而且上面没有任何其他的装饰或什么的，是因为当初他们设计这张桌子的时候，它的 finishing 其实他觉得他们是刻意要用那个手工刮泥板的那一系列，因为这么大面积的效果，用手工刮泥板看起来会非常的好，而且非常有质感，然后也非常的就是奢华，所以他就是故意设计就是素面的一整面。所以如果用木的，它就是一般木桌。可是如果你用他们那个比较特别的材质，看起来就比较有他们的卖点啊，还有比较有质感。
In the catalog, for example, you have the picture of the option in stucco. It doesn't really give them much the idea as it was for real, but this is the version in stucco, and you can see how many options you have for this table. So when showing to the customer, especially if you want to sell beyond the ones you have in the floor, just work always with the catalog, especially if you can use the app that you can download of your iPads, so that you can check all the time all the different options you can offer for them. This instead, I believe, it's still a solid shape because Armani is typical of solid shape, mainly standing on the floor. So we just have one style that raises up the floor with a metal feet. All the rest is about solid shapes on the floor. We don't really like the floating ones. This is more comfortable. The structure is made in foam, so it's very hard. But the cushions are made in foam and feather. So in this case, you have more comfort compared to the really original ones that had such a thin cushion for the seat.
那这款沙发也是延续Armani他们之前的设计，是比较厚，所以它一样都是有沙发座。那因为Armani他们自己品牌强调的就是风格，所以他们所有的沙发只有一款是有沙发脚的，其他都是以沙发底座的方式来呈现。那这一款的话就是边框也是包覆这个 它差别是这个坐垫是泡棉混合羽绒，它有软一点。
The lamp Tercilla is one of our best sellers for the floor lamps, because you can see that it's a very particular shape, and we tend, as in this case, to use it coming from behind the sofas to the front. So it's a very strong piece in our collection. It comes just in one version, but for what concerns the stand. For what concerns the lampshade, we have a plain one like this, but we also have another one, a floral one, which is a unique special version just for this lamp.
那接下来跟大家介绍这个新的这款立人呢，是他们品牌旗下卖的最好的款式，它就是上面的马上，还有一个它这款马上特别大，就是在各地然后上面，所以现在它的那个就是比较神奇。
Can you also tell them about the monaural glass lighting collection, like the holly on the head?
The what?
The monaural glass lighting collection. We just arrived and we just moved it from the warehouse today, but we haven't put it on display yet.
So there's nothing to see, just to tell them.
Yeah. But it will arrive today.
Okay. So let's go to the next. Last is the last one, right? Okay. Go down. So this is Eliseo. It's the same collection as the coffee table. But again, this is a version in brushed brown oak. It doesn't really give the best of this table, because we also have a version with patinated linen here, which is the new special finishing.
它这张 Excel 餐桌跟刚刚那个茶几是姐妹系列，那一样就是如果想要更强调阿玛尼的风格以及奢华感的话，旁边其实是可以配那个羊毛羊皮纸，就亮面羊皮纸的那个 finishing， 这样子就会更有质感，然后更像它本来要表达的设计绘。
You see. So this is the version, for example, of this table.
就是醒目里面这样子，就是上面也是 dark brown oak， 然后配。
Here it's canaletto walnut, and the legs are done with patinated linen.
胡桃木配羊皮，亮面羊皮纸的 finishing。
There's also another very the one with linen. You know, remember the one I showed you?
然后他说也可以选那个我们有那个亚麻布料的地方，然后是那种亚麻布料，然后用不同的颜料去抽出那个渐层色，然后再上那个亮光的。
Another popular.
They are asking that do you always have to match the legs with the table, or they can be separated?
No, it cannot be separate. I mean,
You
the
have to finish it. So what's the combination?
It's already decided. You will have in the catalog saying, the example, in the catalog you look, it says material, natural parchment and black maple wood. So you will know that it has parchment and black maple wood, or brushed brown oak, which is this, or you have the one with canaletto walnut and patinated linen. So you cannot choose them separately. The combination is decided on.
跟刚刚英语讲的，还有他一直在强调，就是除了有刚刚提到我们说所有布料或者材质都可以选，或是灯罩跟那个灯座可以分开。这个产品跟它其他产品一样，就是它的finishing 是帮你配好的，所以要么就跟这个一样，全部都是这个back burn 后就 brush 然后或是就是有上面是胡桃木，然后四只脚是羊皮纸，或是四只脚是那个亚麻。
Basically, the way it works, if you want to show The way it works, if you want to show other options besides the one you have on the floor, is work with the catalog. So they should always check from the catalog the different options available and eventually show the customer the way it looks by using the samples. Because not all the tables are available in all the finishing, so they have checked first.
They know this why they asked if she said that she saw along with permanent.
With what?
Permanent. The gold sheet. Permanent. The lacquer, permanent lacquer.
Which lacquer?
Because you have the one with you have the one with the
Maybe it was not this table.
you have the natural parchment.
Yeah.
And she said she saw one with the the top is also in natural parchment.
Yeah. And this is the version. This one, the first one is natural parchment, and this one says natural parchment. So natural parchment is that. It's exactly that one.
Ah.
Natural parchment here, and the legs in black maple wood is this one.
Okay.
So it's the first
where
one.
does the natural glossy brass come from?
It's the feet. So every line refers to an option. The first option is natural parchment, black maple wood, and glossy black painted steel. So the first line, and it's that picture.
OK。因为他讲的时候，他都用嘴巴讲，他没有讲不会是什么，所以这个是羊皮纸，然后配那个枫木，然后底座是 brass， 这样。所以它虽然我觉得你们读它的 catalog 可能会搞混，真的可能还是。
It says natural parchment, black maple wood, and glossy black, and it's that
因为它
picture.
的材质就是直接列他刚刚讲的那样，可是它不同的材质其实可能是桌面或桌角，所以像那个刚刚有那个亚麻布料的那个就是用在桌角，可是桌面又是葡萄木的。
Basically, in the catalog, it lists, but every line lists the option, and every line lists all the material featured in that option. So this first line describes that picture, describes natural parchment, glossy black painted steel, and black maple wood and glossy natural glossy brass.
这个图片就是它的那个 catalog 的第一个描述，因为它在 catalog 里面描述就把所有材质列出来，但是并没有告诉说这个材质是在什么部位。
对，因为它是没有特别标，但是它就是从主体到
小
配件到
桌面到桌角，
从大到小，但是它是一条的材质，就是一个完整的选项这样。但是它明年的那个目录，它是说应该会制作的，他们有特别在针对材质的显示的这个部分有做调整，所以明年的目录应该就会更清楚。
Okay.
The light.
Yeah. Let's go back to some lighting so that I can show some differences.
OK。
Okay. Let me take the picture.
所以等一下他会再帮我们介绍一下，就是那个推玻璃那个新的灯管，因为还没挂，但是好像是今天就会到了，所以我请他先讲一下。
So, for what concerns the lamps we have seen so far, we have seen many lamps with the fabric, technical fabric for lampshades. So whenever you have something like this, maybe it's white, maybe it's beige, maybe it's gray, we have different colors, but it's again fabric for technical fabric for lampshades. Then we have the Murano glass, which is the only one that features polycarbonate. Then the third option, which is going to be more and more used since 2013, is Murano glass. Murano glass is the same material as this vase. It's a glass it's a special glass that gets produced in Venice.
Armani 的这个灯具，我们调灯罩材质，它非常简单，就基本上就3种，那大部分都是这个布材。然后再来就是我们唯一看到的一款，就是它 logo 跟的那个塑料材质。那这几年就从2013年开始，他们都是使用那个乌拉诺港的玻璃能够制造，所以就像你这一款花一样。
So the Murano glass is a very special, unique glass coming from Venice, and also the technique they use to produce the Murano accessories is very special, because you have many, whenever you see glass here on this, it is Murano glass. But the preciousness is that sometimes they do not use molds to do it. So in this case, they use the mold because you can see a very regular shape. But especially for the lamps and some new accessories, sometimes they don't use a mold, but they just blow before the...
blow into the mold.
Exactly.
这个木纳诺之前就是算是那口水玻璃的特色就是一边口水一边塑形，只是因为像我们会发现说它的花器其实还蛮工整的，所以他们大部分都是会透过那个模具水灌模的那种模具，然后它可能就是朝那个模具里面把玻璃胶吹到那里面去，这样呈现。那当然这是花器的部分，可是灯具但是灯具的部分大部分就是口吹的，然后去一边呈现。
For some accessories, some of them, there's not even a mold. They just blow it and just shape the glass before it crystallizes. So it requires a lot of craftsmanship, and this can just be done in Murano.
Is that for the light shade?
For the
Light shade.
Exactly. In the new collection, you will see that they have maybe a metal stem, but the lampshade here, it was going to be in Murano glass. And the color of the lampshade is very particular because they use glass, but they also, before again the glass crystallized in the furnace, they put some rods of color, different colors. So you will see, it has, when you will get it in the showroom, I'm sure you will realize what I mean. But you will see a lot of colored shades like this.
For the light shade.
For the light shade, yes. I will show you the pictures. Maybe.
This is cutting by hand or mold?
This is, I believe, is not a mold. It's just blown.
Blown.
When it's more regular, it's.
You do this by hand.
I believe it's done by hand. Yes.
所以呢，分辨的方法就是像这个样子，非常工整平滑的，通常都是有那个模具。可是他说像那个灯罩，就其实蛮多都是口吹玻璃，然后边吹边成型的。那为什么那种没有，就是那种他们就像这次推出的玻璃灯罩灯具，还有一个特点就是你会发现它那个灯罩是有不同的颜色的，所以它在吹的时候是有放不同的那个玻璃色粒子进去的，所以你吹出来的时候就有那个不同的一丝的颜色。那像那种也是就是用口吹玻璃。边吹边成型的，那像这种有这种刮纹的，就是可能我吹完之后，然后再用手工切割方式去做。所以像这种就是有图案的或图形的，或是不是这样这么工整的，其实都是手工的。可是其实也是完全是人工制作，因为那个模具只是帮忙你去固定那个形，所以你就是比较光滑。所以其实也是人工的部分啊，只是他去强调说有一种是有仰赖模具，那一种是没有的这样。
This is an example of a new lamp this year. So in this case, the lampshade is glass, is Murano glass, and you can see that it has these different shades that are made by using color, putting color inside the glass before it crystallized, and by blowing it, and then before it crystallized.
那你们很快现场就可以看到今年的新品。那在这边呢，就是图片先给大家做个参考，你会发现它的灯罩不是单一色彩的，它是有渐层的，好像云纹的，那种颜色柔合在一起这样的感觉。那不错，应该很重，因为它下面都是金属做，就是桌灯跟电灯，对，都是金属做，然后玻璃灯罩很重。
A little bit of figures. Okay.
And about the light gold, it's all LED?
Yeah, the new collection. No, but not the one you will get. You get now.
So the one is not?
No.
Oh, okay, it's normal.
No more. The ones you're getting now.
所以新品
The
都是
next
LED，
year,
但是
so
我
what
们
you
订
will
到的
get
刚好
next
是
year.
旧款，就是还是钨丝灯泡。
一般灯泡就好了。
对，
然后
我们是一般灯泡，
换。
没有 LED 灯。
Next year, so what we sold last Salone, and I believe you will get it mid of next year probably.
没关系。
They feature they feature LED lights because we're going to switch soon all the lamps to LED light because of
用欧盟
new
的新规
European
定
regulations.
只能用 LED 灯，所以他们之后也会把全系列都换成 LED 灯具。那到时候可能就那我们说要看一下这个 LED 灯还是。
Yes. Is that everything for today?
If you don't have any other questions,
请问大家有任何问题吗？
what I can find out for you, because I'm part of the sales team, so most that I know is about selling points, and so when we go to the very deep detail of the production, I must ask to the production, because what I know so far has been told to me from the production, but it's not really my main job. So some questions, some specific questions, maybe I haven't replied fully in total. I can still, you maybe can email me and I can just ask, make sure that with the production I found the very deep detail for you.
那 Anna 在这边跟大家解释，因为他们的这个教育训练其实是被分属在业务端位，所以你们有很多问题其实是属于产品开发端或设计端的，跟他们的业务就不一样，因为他们等于是最末端以产品的卖点或是风格为主。那所以你们今天问到很多细节都是属于制程方面的，或是他们有设计厅去像配色啊或是什么一些定制的东西，所以那些东西大家还是可以问，然后他会帮大家就是回去之后会问其他相关的部门，然后再把答案提供给大家。
还没有其他问题，反正有想到其他问题的话，就再 email 给我。I want to take picture with all of you. 我想帮
as much as you do music.
No.
No, but it's not for me. It's because otherwise the company
I
is
know.
gonna be.
Yeah, I know. Angry. 还有照留念，下次见到他已经不知道什么时候了。让我们做个记录啊。
You know, because in Armani is so important
基本
about
上3年只能一次。
但是这个只会
Mr.
只有我
Armani
们，就是不能也我也不能 PO 到脸书还是什么，因为他们是有被严格
规定
限制
说不可以。